first thing that you do when you're writing anything, and particularly a play, is that you have to take your time. You start thinking about who are these characters and why are these characters hanging out together. And then I got together with the key team. Deborah, who's going to write the music to the songs, and that is Megan, who's my dramaturg. Now, dramaturg is sort of a fancy word for someone who sits over your shoulder and tells you you really should do a better job.
As you put a story together, everything that comes next has to have a reason or a purpose.
We knew we wanted a fun opening song. We knew we wanted a song about their friendship. We knew we needed a party song. We knew we needed a song where the toy broke and they got really angry.
That toy was a culmination of my dreams, and what you did to me was so very mean. You broke my toy.
These stories can happen anywhere. Are they happening in a city? Are they happening in the country? Are they happening in America? Are they happening in France? It's the same reason I choose animals. Like, are they old? Are they young? What is their race? It doesn't matter. So when we moved this to the stage, it was very important to me that we have that same sort of open flexibility.
We start with the text, with the script, which is just, words on a page. So it can be anywhere, and what I often love doing is just read the script and just see what images come into my mind.
I lay out all of the books that I've written so far and all of the books that are in planning stages, and we start to put it together like a puzzle. Well, if this happens, that would lead to that, and what about this, and maybe that would work.
Piggie introduces Gerald to her new trumpet, and they almost have a falling out, but they save the day because they're best friends.
We know we want to have a trumpet so that we can go into this trumpet scene, but how and why does a trumpet even come into the room?
Do you want to listen to my trumpet?
You can listen to a trumpet?
And so you start to think about what would make a character even think to get a trumpet. And how is that trumpet related to a party? How is this idea of bringing a trumpet into this space related to what has just happened the moment before?
Then we started filling in the pieces so that it would become one big structure. These characters are incredibly dramatic. They care. Their emotions are very, very, very strong.
You're the best.
Piggie, I am dead serious. You are the best.
What you want to do is you want to take your audience, you want to go along a story, and you want to see who they are and why they are who they are and how their little crises change them until finally they have to face something that they're not ready for. And in the case of this musical, what they are not ready for is for the musical to end.
So turn off the lights and clear the set.
We'll read the script's last page.
But what a song can do is it can underline the emotion of what the scene is. So if you think about a scene and two characters are having a problem and they're angry at each other and they can't say, I'm angry at you because you hurt my feelings. But if they sing a song, they can explain exactly what they're going through.
I never, ever, 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 ever felt so
Sad.
I listened to a lot of songs that I liked, and I put together a playlist of songs, and then I sort of hummed into a tape player a little melody. And none of these were what the song sounded like at all. But what they were signposts for Debbie to understand what the emotion of the song was, what I was trying to get across, and also how much more talented she is than me. So this solved a lot of problems. She could hear these things and be like, well, I know why I have this job.
That's me! Glad to be!
When Mo approached me about writing the show, he said, we've got these fun characters, we've got this story to tell, and now we want to add music to it. We had a really fun time listening to lots of different kinds of music to try and figure out what's their groove, what's their playlist. So what we came up with was the sound of theirs is a little timeless, maybe a little more old-fashioned, but fun.
Don't miss out, Smarty. It's a fancy pool costume party.
It's bouncy and it's fun, and it has a little bit of an improvisational feel. Improvisational meaning that you're kind of making it up as you go. And also in Mo Willems' books, he has a lot of funny words. Boink, zap, brr, eek. That's where we brought in jazz just a little bit, because in jazz, they do that. They improvise vocally, and they would do scat. So they'd go dooba 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 dabba dooba ba dooba 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 ba dee. So Elephant and Piggie should scat too.
We played a lot with the choreography, we played a lot with the music. How would the music help build this tension so that you know they're having fun, and then it's getting harder for Gerald and it's getting trickier, and all of a sudden he's on the spot.
Oh no! I cannot dance.
I don't believe it.
No.
He moves through a big freak out about dancing that we needed everything on stage to help us build to that moment. So it didn't just come out of the blue in this party, but that it built and built and built until it exploded.
I thought that the script really opened up an avenue to translating the books into the language of theater through music and choreography and scenes together between Elephant and Piggie that I thought were unique, but at the same time very reflective of the spirit of the book.
A song is successful when you can no longer remember who did what to the song, that the song took over. And it's not about the music, it's not about the lyrics, it's about this fusion, this life that it creates on its own.
I love your hooves, love your snout.
You make my life more fun.
You know what you were all
I
about.
gave it that zip and zoom.
I feel so happy, and
life
I
is
know
better
why.
with
There's a
an
piggy
elephant
in
in
my
my
style.
Elephant and Piggie are very, very simple books in the sense of their design. You see elephant, you see piggy, you see their dialogue, maybe you see some other characters, but there's never really a background. It's just against a blank page.
There's very few words, and there's very simple, elegant drawings. And in those drawings, there is a world of story.
What struck me was the kind of style that Mo Willems has. One example of that is the way I approach the party. We're kind of inventing a Mo version of the party without Mo. So you have to kind of get in his head and think about, all right, what would Mo do? So I was just looking for kind of broad strokes that Mo had that then I could incorporate so that the kids who were familiar with the books could then go look at the environment and go, oh, okay, I know where I am.
Put your hands in the air, put your hands down low. Simply fancy costume dance. Put your hands up high, put your hands down low.
And so it was important to create an otherworldliness. If you wouldn't want to have like a farm in the background or something like that, because then you would restrict what the story is about.
I think what's really beautiful about Mo Willems' books, you see all kinds of action and interaction and emotion in this two-page spread.
In theater, we want to make sure that we're listening very carefully to the words, and we have to be careful about distracting from listening to those words, not letting the scenery become more interesting than the story, so staying behind it, supporting the story.
But I don't care, it's so fantastic. I just want to hold it tight. Are you aware it's made of plastic? Holding it just feels so right.
You have to make a choice. You have to make a leap of faith. Either you're going to put a snout on or a trunk on the elephant and pig nose on the pig, or you're going to go in another direction with them as people and recognizing them as people.
Mr. Willems really wanted it to be set in 1977. Where I really heightened that was with the squirrels and their hairdos and their glamorous little outfits and their boas. The shoes are the first thing I think of because once the actors are on their feet, they need to be in the shoes. Gerald is wearing shoes that elevate him by 4 inches. And the reason we decided to do that is just to give him a little bit of, when he puts his foot down, it feels very heavy, and also to get him to be a little bit taller than Piggie.
My job is to talk about the philosophy. It should feel magical. Things should come from nowhere. It should never have a specific location. This is where the writer has a very, very important role. It is the writer's role to back away and let the people who do this deal with it.
Get it going, it's time to start. I'll show you how to elephant party.